Hi, church family. I hope that you are doing well today. So excited to connect with you, and I have a lot to share with you today, especially as we look together to the fall. Lots of information that I'd like to share. So hang with me for a few moments today. First, I want to thank you for being with us for Gratitude Sunday. We had a great time together, and we held our annual meeting in which we approved our budget, ratified leaders, and everything was approved by 95% or higher. And I want to thank you for your participation in that process. One of the things we talked about together on Sunday was that our mission remains the same, that we're still focused on encountering Jesus together and joining all of the ways that God is loving our world. Today, I want to tell you about a specific opportunity that I'm really excited about. Our His Kids After School program, which serves hundreds of families, is making a pivot this fall, like so many other ministries. And they're trying to find some of the best ways that we can serve and support our families and our schools. So we're excited to tell you that we're making a big purchase for Alma Public Schools. We're purchasing some plexiglass desk shields, 720 of them for Alma Public Schools. We've been grateful for some great conversations with our superintendent, Donalyn Ingersoll, and we know that this is something that will really help our schools. So wondering, can you help us with this? Each shield costs $13. Perhaps could you purchase one, or maybe 5 or 10 or maybe even 100? All you have to do is go online. You can give, just designate that gift for His Place, and we'll make sure that that gets fully applied towards the purchase of these desk shields. We're working on getting them here as quickly as possible. And I'm so glad that we get to serve our schools, our teachers, and our families in this way. Well, another way that we're focusing on encountering Jesus together is getting ready for an all-church spiritual journey this fall, and we're calling it Recover Your Life. That phrase comes from a passage of scripture, words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 11, beginning at verse 28. In the Message, Jesus says, "Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life." Recover Your Life will be our focus this fall. Knowing that most of us are weary and overwhelmed, frustrated, we want to focus together on some simple, life-giving ways to provide some hope and some practical daily spiritual help through some simple daily rhythms. Now, a key part of this journey will be for all of us to be a part of a small group together. So I want to invite you to begin making space in your mind and heart and schedule to be a part of a small group this fall. We'll begin the week of September 13th, and this will wrap up before Thanksgiving. We will have different kinds of options available for groups, some that meet in person, some that meet online. You can even do this over the phone with a friend if you'd like. But I want to encourage you to begin making space in your heart, in your schedule, for this spiritual journey. I think it's going to be a really important season for us. You'll hear lots more about this in the weeks to come as we get ready for that series to launch on September 13th. But let me talk for a moment about the next 3 Sundays ahead. So this coming Sunday, August 30th, we're having our final outdoor service for the month of August. And I'm especially excited because we have a special guest who will be with us, Jenny Miesel, who's one of our missionary partners. She and her family serve on the Ivory Coast. They will be here with us to share. Jenny will be here with us, or the rest of her family will not, but Jenny will be here to share with us. And I have no doubt it's going to be an awesome day. So be sure to join us outdoor service this August 30th at 10:30 a.m. in our church parking lot. The following Sunday, September 6th, is Labor Day weekend. And for that weekend, we'll have our service online, as we always do, on Facebook at 10:30. And then we will also hold an in-person watch party at His Place, and that will be our in-person option for that Sunday. Now, the following Sunday, September 13th, big day around here. We'll be kicking off our fall spiritual journey called Recover Your Life. And beginning that Sunday, we will have two different options for you to join us for worship. The first, of course, is our online service. That will continue to happen at 10:30 a.m. Then you can find that through Facebook. And I know that there are many of you who will continue to choose that option as the primary way that you connect and engage with us. And I want you to know that's wonderful. We love connecting with you online. And we're going to be creating this online service specifically for a meaningful online experience. And so for the best quality for us to do that, we will be pre-recording that service earlier in the week from our sanctuary, and then we will broadcast it on Sunday morning at 10:30. This really is a great way for us to stay connected and engaged with one another. And we're doing all we can. We've got some new ideas and things that we're going to try to help make it as great of an experience as we possibly can. So you can join us online. You can also join us in person. So starting September 13th, we will offer a live in-person service at his place. And I'm excited about this. We've got a lot of planning in the works for this. Now, when you come, the reason why we're going to use his place is because it's a wide open space. We actually can fit more people and social distancing at the His Place gym than we can in our sanctuary right now. So we're going to use that gym where we can easily social distance, easily enter and exit the building, space things out. And we're working hard to create a really cool environment in the room with good safety protocols that will be in place. So you can come for that worship service, and we're doing all that we can to design a really meaningful in-person experience. And so we're working on some ways to feel connected in the room, for it to feel cozy even while we're social distanced from one another. And I'm so excited about what we are planning. Now, that service that will happen live at his place will be very similar to the service that happens online, with a few adjustments that we make for the in-person environment. So what happens at his place will not be recorded, and that will not be broadcast on Facebook. We're discovering that the His Place gym environment is more challenging for us to create a good online experience because of acoustics and equipment challenge. So we're just going to focus on the live experience at his place. So I'm really excited to be together for worship. It's been wonderful to be outdoor for worship, and now as we get into these fall months, I'm excited about what that will look like for us. Now, if you plan to join us in person, a couple of more details that I'd like for you to know. First, we will be asking you to RSVP so that we can prepare our seating accordingly and so that we know we have the right number of people in the room. We also want you to know that we plan to follow the Michigan executive order, which does require masks when we are in indoor spaces. So we want to ask you to do that. And in doing that, we're seeking to be good neighbors. We know that this is what is being asked of those in our community. It's what our schools and colleges and universities are committing to as well. And when we wear masks, we do so as a way to love one another, to protect one another. And I want to pause here for a moment. Let me say, I know that there are a lot of opinions about masks. Even when I just start talking about it, you probably have some very strong feelings. And not all of you will like the way that we're going to approach this. But I want you to know how we've made this decision and how we've thought and prayed through this. I know at our outdoor service, so many of you have been choosing to wear masks, and that really does make a difference. In fact, you probably don't know that earlier this summer, we did have an individual who attended one of our outdoor services that then the following day began experiencing symptoms and did test positive for COVID. Because that person was wearing a mask, and because we were outside, and because social distancing was being observed, the risk of exposure to others was extremely low. And there were no follow-up steps that we were asked to take as a church regarding exposure to others who were attending the service. You know, as we think about moving our services indoor, things become a little more complicated for us. And I want you to know I've spent some time. I've talked with 3 different people at our local health department so that I can have a clear answer of what might happen if we have someone who comes to one of our services who tests positive for COVID, and what will be required of us. And I know that the first thing that will happen is that we will have to take a look at the risk to others in the room. And a huge factor in assessing that risk is looking at what safety protocols were in place and what things were followed. And masks are at the top of that list. Now, if someone comes to one of our services, if we find out someone has come who has then tested positive for COVID, we want to know that we have done all that we can to reduce the risk of exposure for all of those others who are in the room. And the bottom line for me is I want us to be able to continue our in-person services. And wearing masks helps us increase our ability and likelihood to keep those in-person services going. Now, again, I know there's different opinions about masks these days, but I want to ask you, let's not make masks the main focus. Instead, let's fix our eyes on Jesus and focus on all of the goodness that can happen when we gather together in the name of Jesus and when we prayerfully seek to encounter Jesus together. Friends, I'm so glad that we are on this journey of encountering Jesus together. I want to invite you to reach out to me if you have questions, comments, things that you'd like to discuss. I'm always glad to hear from you. I'm praying for you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.